With me today that will be discussing farm record is Mr. Kende Olanikan, educationist, agricultural specialist and examiner, who will be joining me from time to time in discussing the various aspects of farm records. Also contributing is a consultant with First Fitch Academy, who will both be joining me to do justice to this topic, farm records. Farm records. Farm records can be defined as any written documentation of all events, business, and farming activities as they occur daily on a farm. Now, if records are not kept in this poultry farm, how will you know those that are sick or not productive? So a record must be kept, which are a systematic record of all transactions regarding all aspects of the farm. This can be in poultry production or any other animal production or crop production. Mr. Olalikan, what is farm records?
So farm records are documents that contains everything that is going on farm, or that contains details of what is going on in your farm. Let's not say everything, because everything has to do with farm diary. So farm records are documents, written documents of activities going on your farm. So records of money you collect or money you pay, all those ones that have to do with money transactions are farm accounts. That's just a clear distinction between those two.
Yes, the keeping of record can not only be done in poultry production, even in fish ponds. Farm record, you have to keep record in your farm, whatsoever what to do, whatsoever anything you're doing, whether you are feeding, you are treating your fish, you are harvesting your fish, you procurement of anything in your farm, you have to take farm record. So this is our nursery pond, and then this record for this particular row. We have 9 ponds in this particular row. We have another record elsewhere, but for this board, this is for this particular row. So ensure you keep record in your farm in order for you to know whether you are making profit or loss. Proper monitoring. In crop production, even while working on the farm.
But before you can say where is this farm going to, you have to bring out your records to be able to say, oh, this is where we are coming from. What we set out to do, have we been able to achieve? The pen, they say, is smarter than the sharpest brain. Even if you don't forget anything in this life, as you don't forget any details in this life, you cannot be everywhere. You cannot be everywhere. You don't forget any details. As a farmer, you don't forget details, but you cannot be everywhere. What if you are not present? What should happen? What records should we rely on? You have to keep records.
Importance of farm records. Farm records are used to evaluate progress of the farm enterprise. That means it enables the farmer to determine whether he's making profit or loss. Again, a farmer can use farm record documents to obtain loan from the bank or any other financial institutions, thereby serving as a collateral security. So what is collateral security? The collateral security can be any tangible document such as land or any document such as farm record that can be used while borrowing money in case you are unable to pay back. Such document can be taken or seized for such financial help. Farm record again can serve as a document that will be useful during taxation purposes. It is through this record the government agencies can assess the worth of that farm so as not to undertax or overtax the farmer.
Again, farm record is also useful in making future plan. That is for farm budgeting over a year. It enables the farmer to know how to allocate resources, identify what to buy, even here, identify the number of workers to be employed, identify the activities they have to carry out for that day or week, then know the amount of money he will pay the workers. So this is used for future purpose or plan while allocating resources. Farm record also give a brief history of all the activities that took place in the farm for reference purposes. If the farm is to be sold to a new manager, he need to know what has been taking place in that farm. Farm record also help to aid managerial control. With the help of record, the farmer can keep a close check of each workers or the work that is presently going on, if it's going according to his own plan. For instance, if the feed supply for the animals are too much or numbers of workers for a particular job are too many, so that things can be put right before losses start occurring in the farm. Types of farm records.
Look at the types of record talked about farm diary. Then we have what is called farm inventory record. That's the list of all assets that you have. The list of all assets that you have. That's farm inventory record. Then sales and purchase record, the list of what you're selling, what you're receiving, who you are selling to, the details of your customers, details of the people you are buying from and those that you are selling to. And sometimes you actually write the amount down there, but we have an account where we also take notes of that. Then we have yield or production record. That is your output, what you are getting from the production. How many maize cob were you able to harvest? You put all those down in your yield record. How many gallons of milk were you able to get from your cattle? You put that down. You record all of that. And why do you need to even record an example? The example I just gave now. Why do you need to record the quantity of milk? So that when there's a drop in production, you'll be able to know that something is wrong somewhere. Maybe your animals are suffering from one kind of disease, or they are reacting to changes in weather. And you'll be able to project, at this particular point in time, there will be a drop in my milk production, so that you know how to balance up the effect. See why paying attention to details and documenting them is very important. Then payroll or labor record, that's how much you're paying your staff, that's those that are working for you, the wages and salaries that you're paying out. Then farm input utilization record, even as little as the type of drug you are administering to your animals, you have to write it down. So that if the animal reacts to the drug in a negative way, you can take notes and never use such drug. Or probably it's going to be because of the species of the animal that you are using, or all of that. So you just have to pay attention. You have to balance everything up to know where the problem is and to avoid it in the future. Then farm valuation account. Farm valuation account and farm inventory account are somewhat similar. Farm valuation account goes the extra mile of noting all the assets on the farm and their money worth, the worth of, as in how much they worth at the present. In your farm inventory account, you can also put their money worth there also. And farm valuation account is always taken at the beginning and at the end of every production cycle.
Farm diary. Another one is farm inventory. Production record, which can be animal production. It can also be crop production. It can also be input record. And finally, we have profit and loss account record. Let us start by looking at the first one, which is farm diary. What is farm diary? Farm diary is the daily records of events as they occur in the farm. In other words, the farmer or the supervisor is to take record of everything, activities, operations that are taking place in the farm daily. And don't forget, when I say record, these activities must be written down either in figures or in words. And at the end, the observations that is made by the supervisor will help to monitor the activities of the farm. Then, concerned with how farm workers can carry out their daily tasks or activities. These such parameters will include the date at which you are going to carry out the activity, the number of workers the farmer or the supervisor will take to that farm, the activities either to clear, to burn, or to till, whatever activities they are going to carry out. Then observation, was it completely done, or following day you are to carry out other activities as is similar to that. So it should be noted either by written or by observation. Another one is farm inventory record. Farm inventory record is a complete count, that is a total count and valuation of all assets and liability on the farm at a specific date. Now, though Mr. Ola is going to talk more on assets and liabilities, including farm profit and loss account, but however, what are assets? Assets are all materials, goods and services that is owned by the farmer, and these materials are used in the production process. Remember, they are owned by the farm. But farm inventory is a detailed account or total number of assets and liabilities of a farm at a specific time or date. Now let's see these tools we have here. Looking at the date they were bought, the amount at which they were bought, the condition at which they were bought. So all these put together we refer to as farm inventory records. In production record, for example, cassava farm enterprise. Here you have to take note of the date the starting of the farm was carried out by clearing, the number of workers that were taken to that farm, amount at which you are going to pay each workers, the number of hours that are spent is referred to as man-hour in the farm. So all these we put together will refer to as production record as regards this cassava crop production. But if it is animal production, you have to consider the number of stock or birds that you started with, the feeds that are given to them, the vaccination program you have incurred, everything that is put into production process of these animals, and at the end, what you are going to, the price at which you are going to sell them. All this will make up production record in farm animals. In profit and loss account, I'm going to give room to Mr. Ola to explain in details what profit and loss account entails. Listen to him carefully.
Profit and loss account, which is one of the one account that we are going to pay attention to. This one, why is it very important? It's very important because you have to know how much you are making so that you don't spend your capital, you don't spend the money that you are going to use to produce at the next production cycle. That's very, very, very important. You see that in your notice, the only one that we talked about the importance and we gave examples of how to calculate. It's very, very, very simple to calculate it. What are the things that you note when you are trying to put together a profit and loss account? Number one, you have to note the title. The title has to involve the name of the farm, profit and loss account, and the date that you are doing it. The profit and loss account has two sides. It has the debit side and the credit side. What are the things that we put on the debit side? Anything that takes money out of the farm or the farm business is a debit. Anything that brings in money, that credits you, and just like you recharge your phone, anything that credits you, credits your account, it's what we put under credit. So examples of things we put under debit: costs, depreciation, bills, and that we need to settle, that we need to pay. Those ones are under debit. But anything that brings in money, sales, you loan your tools or your machines out, and people are paying you for using your tools or your machines, that's also bringing in money. So you loan your animals out. Somebody needs, a person needs your stud to mate his or her female animal. And you get money in return for such, or you get animals in it. So the money worth of those animals are credits for you. They are credits for you. So that's the difference. Look at some other terms that we need to also pay attention to, that we need to know. Asset. What's an asset? Asset is anything of value that is owned by the farm or the farmer. It's by the farmer. And we have different types. We have the fixed assets. And those ones that they last long, that we cannot just finish using in one production cycle, like the house, farmhouse, the animal pen, the animal cage, your machines, all those things are fixed assets. You cannot finish using them. And we have current assets. You can finish using those ones like money, cash. When you spend it to buy something, it is gone. You cannot recover it again. It's something that you bought. Like your feed, your animals, all those ones, they are current assets. Though you own them, but after a production cycle, they might not be present anymore. Alright, cost. Cost are those things that you spend, your expenses. Eh? What you spend is what we refer to as cost. And we have different types of cost. We have fixed costs. Those ones we continue to spend them. They do not vary at different level of production. They may be constant or fixed at a particular time. They may be constant. What I mean by constant is year in, year out, you spend that particular amount. Or fixed, just once. And variable cost, those ones on a regular basis, and they are not fixed. The amount is not fixed. Today you can buy a bag of feed for 2,500. Tomorrow it can be 2,400 or 2,700. The same thing with seeds too. Their prices are not fixed, depending on the prevalent economy in the world. Then we have liabilities. What's liability? Liability is basic debt. What you owe, not own now. OWE. What you owe is a liability. And we have different types of liability. We have current liability. That is those liabilities, those debts that you require to pay in a short time. Those ones are current or short-term liabilities. And then we have long-term liabilities. Those ones that will take years for you to pay back, or you'll be paying in installments. Such ones include loans that you used to buy your machines, loans that you used to build your farmhouse and all of that. And then we have medium-term liability. Those ones usually last between 2 to 5 years. Long-term can as long as 10 years to pay back. Then we have net worth with total money worth of the farm. Total money worth, and how do we get that? All the things that the farm is having, that is the assets, minus what the farm is owing, the liability, will give you the worth, the actual value of the farm at that point in time. And it can change depending on the liability. It's the liability that actually determines the worth of the farm. When the liability is small, the worth of the farm is high. When the liability is much, the worth of the farm is low.